see what you're doing.
Are you dressed well? Are you going to help us shovel?
No, I'm not going to help you shovel. That's a given. But I did want to look at what you've got going on here. How long have you been a plumber?
Oh my goodness, over 25 years.
Have you?
Yeah.
What made you decide to get into plumbing?
Well, I was digging ditches in high school.
Oh, so
it was a high school job, so I was working for a company, and I was basically the grunt. We call this ditches. This is what I did for 3 summers, was just shovel and trenching, and
yeah.
got out of high school, tried college out for a little while, and just went, man, you know what, trades is probably a good idea. I don't think it's going anywhere. So actually, I jumped in doing 2 full-time jobs.
Wow.
I did that for almost a year, and then decided that plumbing was just going to be my livelihood. So it's all called plumbing. Every job is different, and that's what I like about it. I love that, and I love the interaction with people.
So you do a lot of the new constructions?
We do a lot of new construction, and we also do full service inside homes, installation for products like water heaters, water softeners.
Right.
And everything's just a little different. It may be a water heater in your house, but it may be different than the water heater in my house.
Right.
So and it's nice just to get to see people, be able to help them out, and give them, honestly, options and let them pick what they want to do.
Right.
Versus just throwing stuff down people's throats.
Give them information and let them make an informed decision.
It's their money, it's their choice.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And sometimes in this world, with everybody out there trying to do their own thing, having somebody with a background and experience, it's nice just to be able to lay out those options. And, and if nothing else, give them a second opinion so they feel good about being reassured where they're going.
Yeah. Where do you begin when you start putting plumbing in new construction?
So when we get to a job site for a new home, the builder already has the concrete people already has it formed up like you see, which is the outline of the house.
Right.
And then we all get blueprints.
Okay.
And blueprints is an architectural drawing of the home. Now, whether it's a 1-story, a 2-story, etc., each floor typically has its own floor plan and layout. And we have to know how to read these and then transfer this information out here.
Okay.
And that's where we start to begin. So
this will tell you where the sinks and the toilets and the showers are all going to go.
Yeah, 100%. And for an example, you can see on the first floor of this house, we have a half bath right here.
Okay.
Kitchen is over here, and we have a washer and dryer in this side of the house. So we get all the sinks, drains, showers, locations, and then we have to take measurements, and we have to actually transpose those onto these form boards. And we use orange string, but the orange string actually represents the walls inside a house.
Okay.
So we actually take all the measurements and we form up strings, which are walls, and that's where we know to take the plumbing and bring them up inside the home so they're in the right spot, hopefully at the right time when everything's poured.
Well, is there a certain depth that you have to do this for?
There is.
To be a cement slab?
Yeah, and each house is different with that. This house actually has the heating for this home is actually below the slab. It's what they call in-slab heating.
Oh.
So when that happens, we have to be deeper because we have to accommodate for 8-inch ductwork for the heating companies to come in and put that in.
Okay.
So
is that common to have that?
I would tell you maybe 5% of the homes that are built have in-slab heating. Otherwise, they typically do heating in the attic spaces or, in a basement.
Is that a preference for the homeowner that's building it, or is that typically a builder or the lot?
Typically, honestly, it's the builder who has the design in the house, whether they can accommodate below slab or above slab.
Okay.
But yeah, and a lot of builders are they're shifting away from in-slab heating stuff. It's starting to phase out a little bit more as people are just trying to bring things up out of the ground.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's not very common, but it does happen.
Okay. All right. Well, this is kind of fun. Then when you get all this done, then what's the next step?
So once we work on this right now, we've got a white pipe out here. That is actually our clean out for the sewer.
Okay.
So if you ever have in a house and a homeowner's ever been asked, hey, where's your clean out? Say their toilet's backed up or kitchen sink drain is backed up.
Right.
We're looking for that clean out. And that is actually how we would access the sewer pipe from outside the house to get inside so we don't make a mess all over inside the home.
Okay.
So what we do is we run all the drain lines first, and then we will come back today and we will run water lines. And in every fixture, because we actually are plumbing in for this home, This is what they call a mana block, and this actually will look like an electrical panel almost.
Okay.
But every single faucet in the house will have a shutoff valve.
Oh, those are nice. I've seen those.
Yeah. That is what this is set up for.
Okay.
So we will have all of our water lines. Every individual one comes back hot and cold as we go around the whole house.
Okay.
That comes back to this point, and then we have water lines ready for once the concrete gets poured. Because once we're done with our drains and our water lines, concrete company comes in after inspection is passed, and they level this back out and they pour a 4-inch slab of concrete on top.
Okay. You know, I hear people complaining that it takes forever for the hot water to get to my shower.
Yeah.
So is there a way to prevent that? Is there a special circulation system?
If you're involved with a builder from the start, it's great to have that conversation with the plumber and builder up front.
Okay.
Because there's definitely things that need to take place that are normally not just included.
Okay.
There is what they call a hot water recirculation line.
Okay.
That typically gets ran back from the furthest point to the water heater area.
Okay.
Now, in the event that a homeowner was unable to have that conversation, as long as it's not a mana block, we've got retrofit items that we can put in for that.
Okay, and if it's a
mana block, unfortunately, we're just going to have to deal with it.
Okay.
And the reason that is you can't recirculate inside that manifold.
I see.
On how that works. So that's why I say it's great to talk about that up front.
Right.
To see what those needs are. Now, if we get a really long house that's maybe 60, 80, 90 feet long, I like to have those conversations with the builder myself.
Well, a lot of homeowners, it's what you don't know. They don't know. Yeah. You don't even know to ask that question.
Exactly. We did maybe a 3,800 square foot house down in Marion last year, and they were 85, 90 feet long, and I actually stopped ahead of time to say, hey, you don't want to do the mana block right now.
Okay.
And we put a change order in the beginning of that because they were probably going to wait 20 plus 30 seconds for hot water to get all the way to their master.
Yeah, that's a waste of water.
You move in as a homeowner thinking we're great, and then all of a sudden, well, we got to get hot water there.
Right.
So, so yes, there are different measures that we could do, and that's a good question.
And do you come back and put in all of the fixtures and the faucets?
Goodness gracious, yeah. So there's actually 2 more phases after this.
Okay.
So this is what we would call first phase underground or first rough in. Okay. And then once this is poured and framed, framers will come in and build the whole house. They'll frame it out, put a roof on it.
Right.
We come back in and we'll run all the plumbing to actually physically all the spots then and the rest of the home.
Okay.
That phase ends, and then we do come back after that. You got drywall, insulation, flooring, painting, and all that takes place. Once that's completed, cabinets and countertops are in, we come back and we put all the fixtures in, which is what everybody traditionally gets to see.
Right.
You know, they move in and
maybe we'll have a part 2 and come back and see this when you're in those stages.
That sounds great. Sounds great. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Toby, for letting me come out.
Good to see you again.
And do this. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.